Welcome back, Dodecadorks. We're the 12-sided guys. We have Scott as Ornan.
At your service.
Sabrina as Sylvie.
Oh, hello.
Matt as Guy.
That is my name. Don't wear it out.
And me, Paul, as the confluence of auras. The unnatural, savage, bestial aura and the aura of unholy lingering death are colliding, and the city is right at its center. Kladvina won't know what hit it as the collision explodes from the epic powerhouses known as Jib Jab and Bubbles. Is that right? The powerhouses are named after something toddlers like to play with, and an old website from the early 2000s that would put your head on a dancing body as you elf yourself?
Hey, that
What?
website still
Is
exists.
that what Jib Jab? What?
Yes.
That is not where this namesake came from.
Yeah, and it's technically the sound of bubbles.
Yeah, for a little bit there, Paul, I was getting chills. My nipples are still a little pokey, but man, you brought that energy down quick.
For those wishing for more content of the 12-sided guys, Patreon has multiple rewards at different tiers, including a recap known as Your Neighbor's Potatoes? I feel like I'm being punked. Ashton Kutcher, are you hiding in a bush nearby with your friend Dax Shepard?
Oh, I hope not. Get your kids away from him.
Yeah.
Ahem, ahem. Also, join the 12-sided guys Discord to be up to date on all things Dodecalicious? Who wrote this? Oh, right, me.
I have never heard the word dodecalicious before, Paul. That's
I kinda
all
love
on
it,
you.
though.
I love that too.
But seriously, if you want to stay up to date on all things Dodecadorky, the Discord is where you'll find it, including a future project that we think you all will enjoy. The details are being worked out, so look forward to more updates about this project in the near future. Anyway, if you missed out on an apparently epic masterpiece, all because you were disappointed that the hero of time looked a little too cartoonish, me too, brah, me too. And this podcast is for you. It's Chorus of the Forsaken, episode 56.
Was that about Wind Waker?
Yes.
Honestly,
It was so good.
I
That's what
haven't
I've heard.
played it because of the same exact reason.
Exactly,
it just looks
exactly.
stupid.
I mean, Adult Link from Ocarina of Time, I mean, granted, Nintendo 64 graphics was so, like, he was just boss, right? He was just awesome. And then all of a sudden you have a cartoon running around and it was like, and his arms looked like, this is my opinion, he didn't have elbows. They looked like noodles. That was kind of my opinion of kind of how he moved. But
That was the art style though. Like that's when
I
Adventure
know.
Time came out, and like a lot of
know.
cartoons around then had noodly arms.
yes.
I
yes.
have been enjoying Echoes of Wisdom.
Oh, is it good? I haven't gotten it yet.
It is good. Like, it's definitely good. It's a more of a different vibe. Like, it's definitely easier and cuter, but it's fun.
Gotcha.
I think like your son would be a great age for it.
Welcome back to Kladvina in the country of Via Severia. Last time we were together, there was a pie eating contest, right? That was last time? Yes, there was. It was.
Yay!
And it was an epic battle between two pie for a white guy, the Crumble Bums, Pythons, and the Baker's Dozen of Doom. It was a close match between the Pythons and two pie for a white guy, but the Pythons won, including their old friend Neldor Martin, and
He was the
a
MVP.
and a new, quote, friend, Ileana Emberglow, the woman who had ordered the helmet that Guy ended up buying. Okay, after that, we had a lot going on at the Feast of Sweets Feast, including Ornan did an arm wrestling match with a Goliath woman named Lewix, and we had a fade to black for Ornan.
Woo!
Ooh, good on you, buddy.
So much arm wrestling.
Sylvie made a connection with Grolum Runestone, the Oracle of Savras here in the city of Kladvina. Apparently, very likely is from the same community that Sylvie is from, called the Hive, although he had left 25 years previously, and he ended up inviting Sylvie to come to the Isle of Mirrors tomorrow morning, meaning this morning, and talk with him more in depth. Professor Grimskank, the goblin head archivist of the Prolian Archive.
I love that name.
He also went away, and then he came back and was talking more with Gromlin later. But anyway, something else that happened was that Guy made the connection between Daria, the singer and actor who plays Nari in the musical Unlikely, to the letter discovered in Megan's possessions back in Martin's Rest. As you may recall, the letter spoke of scenes that were playing out and one act closing and another act ready to begin, and the letter was signed D. And Guy made that connection to Daria. And attempting Thieves' Cant, he made a connection with Daria about what happened in Martin's Rest and ended up getting VIP tickets to come and see Unlikely the next night, including Backstage Pass.
I've already been backstage at that show. It's not a big deal.
There's a gnome running around in drag.
You're talking the highlights.
A chamber pot salesman falls from the sky.
It hurt.
Something else that happened was that connections were made with Shireen Shadow Rose, and you went back to her room, which was room 215 here in the Grand Towers Hotel. And Guy and Baldric had a conversation with Neldor and Shireen about what Shireen is doing in town. Shireen informed you that her late husband, Evan Shadow Rose, was a lieutenant, basically, a higher up in Vandalay Industries, who had discovered some kind of shenanigans going on, and in an attempt to inform and bring down the unlawful things that were happening, ended up dead. Shireen blames Anthony. What's his last name?
Shenanigans will get you, though. It's all about the shenanigans, man. Dangerous stuff.
Yes, Anthony Fletcher, who is the man from Vandalay Industries that you met in Corbuli, looking for a ride back up to Kladvina. He was also at the Feast of Sweet Sweets.
It was so nice to have our intuition validated. That guy should never have been on our boat.
Well, and he wasn't, so bravo. But you guys had made plans to go and potentially investigate Vandalay Industries, because you also discovered Vandalay Industries is the only company, the only business that is allowed to trade with the country to the north, which is called Eldoralis. One more thing that happened is that you guys discovered you guys were actually signed up to fight in the Feast of Sweets tournament. And Guy not only let Swordmaster Gelmar know that, hey, you guys didn't sign up, but also that Nalira Silvercrest is a worshiper of Baal and that somebody should keep an eye on her. So you were informed
she may have gobleted fire us.
Somebody may have gobleted to fire you, yes, that's for sure.
Principal said he wouldn't tell, but I think it may have been him.
That's right. Well, I won't tell.
Man, so much happened, even though basically it was just a pieting contest episode.
You're right. You guys ended up after heading back to talk with Shireen and heading back to your room. Sylvie attempted to understand more about that necro protection glyph that Bubbles had on his laboratory floor, but was unable to actually make anything out. Guy went to bed. Baldric was sleeping in Ornan and Magram's bed. Danon slept out on the balcony as usual, and Ornan is doing the walk of shame right now, because that's where we're picking up. Here we are in the Grand Towers.
More like the walk of pride.
Ornan is not ashamed.
Woo!
Ornan comes into the hallway and sees Mr. Vidir is straightening some urns and some pots and things on some of the decorations, and he says, good morning. And then, you go to the door. It looks like Guy and Sylvie are awake in the sitting room as Ornan walks in.
Guy just applauds, just claps. No words.
Oh.
Baldric is up and he's got his lute out. As soon as the door closes, you hear him singing, "Just call me angel of the morning, angel."
Well, you know, there was a surprising amount of climbing involved.
I should have lent you my gloves. They give you a climbing speed.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't happen to see the elves across the hall on your way in, did you?
No, the elves?
Is elves across the hall?
Yes. I meant to tell you guys last night, but I did want to make sure we got around to it.
We could invite them for breakfast.
We could. I saw them talking to Daria last night, and I do think we should have questions for her friends.
I wonder if it's related to her attempts at in Martin's Rest.
I think it might be. I think it also might have something to do with this Vanderlei Industries and, Elf Town and such.
Okay, somebody go get Mr. Vidir. We need a cork board and we need some red yarn. Stat.
Baldric comes and he sits down on the couch and he's like, yeah, we could do that. By the way, Danon's gone.
Wait, what?
She's not out on the balcony.
Oh.
Did it, was there signs of a struggle? Did you even know?
No, let me go check. He goes back out onto the balcony. And then he comes back in and he says, yeah, there's a note and it just says, went to the Druid Circle.
I mean, I guess that's to be expected.
Well, if there were dangerous things in the streets, perhaps she wanted to see what's up.
I wonder if she's feeling all right or if she's maybe a little sad.
Maybe a little wily.
Make insight checks, everybody.
Guy got a 16 insight.
I got a 13.
Ornan got a 23. Rolled a nat 20.
Okay. Baldric the Black got a 10. It looks like, Ornan, you got a 23, natural 20.
Wait a second. Why does it say Baldric the Black 2.0? Is he a robot? Did he get a software update? Baldric, are you a robot? Did you get a software update?
And now I heard there was a new version of All of Us coming out soon.
I don't know what a robot is. It just seemed like the thing to say. By the way, I like your software. And by software, I mean the clothes that you are wearing because they look soft.
Your hardware is quite nice, too.
I'm not complaining about it.
I've been told I have excellent hardware.
I think that with the 23 and the 16, you guys think maybe Danon is. I mean, you know that this is why she came with you, was to get to Kladvina to try to confront Jib Jab. Maybe she thinks you guys are around too much.
Well, I mean, I wish you would have communicated that to us.
Maybe she's just embarrassed that she lost so hard at the pie eating contest.
Honestly, that was pretty embarrassing. I mean, like, I'm so small, and I won compared to her.
We gave her a crown.
Anyway, Baldric goes and sits back down, and I think Pranceful kind of jumps back up into his lap, and he starts petting Pranceful again.
Yep, Pranceful's still dressed up for the party with his top hat and bow tie.
What
Such a cute little guy.
Oh, man.
Oh, yes. All right. So you had mentioned getting a corkboard and some string. I don't know if that was what you really wanted to do, but we should probably talk about all the things that are going on that you guys had talked about doing today. So I made a list.
I also made a list.
The first thing that needs to happen is Ornan needs to sneak back into the room. That is done. Check.
Badly done, but he did it.
I'm scrolling to my list. Where's my list?
We got to get your helmet back to the fire genasi.
Yes.
Check out the Isle of Mirrors. I got to go meet my oracle.
Okay. Ornan snuck back into the room. I need to sell back the helmet to Fire Lady.
Ileana Emberglow.
Ileana Emberglow.
Member of the Pythons, by the way.
More like Ember Ho.
Woo!
And then, that reminded me of Ember, R.I.P. Then we need to meet with Shireen, and Sylvie wanted to go to the Isle of Mirrors. Did you want to go by yourself, or did you want all of us to go with you?
I mean, we don't all have to go. I wouldn't mind having some backup. I mean, the Isle of Mirrors is probably pretty chill, but it is, me and an old guy.
Right, I just didn't know if it was like secret, hive stuff, and you're going to talk, secret things that we can't know.
I mean, I don't have any secrets from you guys. I'm not like, the Aeonians trying to crush people's spirit and free will.
Oh, you don't have any secrets? So tell me, who do you have a crush on?
Well, anyway, so the Isle of Mirrors is really great.
Baldur's like, yeah, who do you have a crush on?
Anyway.
I guess I could go by myself.
It's up to you. I'd be happy to accompany.
Yeah, me too. But we also need to make sure we're not signed up to fight at the Tempestarium. And then I think we were thinking of doing some corporate espionage in Vandalay Industries.
I think all of those things are on the list.
And then I also wanted to watch some of the tournament. And we have 2 VIP tickets backstage to see Unlikely as special guests of Daria.
And I think we should really be cautious of her. I think this might go deeper into the corkboard than we thought.
I agree. I think, though, the backstage
like a bigger
passes...
pushpin?
Yes. It's like a roofing nail.
Oh, that'll really secure the board.
Yeah. I think, though, this should be... I can't imagine springing a trap backstage at a grand reopening of a play when there's other, if she really wanted to hurt us, she could have said, yes, you found out my secrets, let's meet in this dark alley, and then be waiting there with some people with knives or something.
I mean, there's lots of dark alleys from here to the theater, and from what we've heard, it's a little bit restless, so...
Yeah, so what you're saying is we shouldn't walk, we should go find Little Butter again.
Man, you sure do love the Little Butter for how offensive they were to Yagi.
So in all honesty, from where you guys are at, it's actually faster to walk to the Glass House and to Lyra's Theater.
Okay.
I'm sure that going to see Magram is probably number 1 on your list.
I was just about to say, of course, number 1 is to go see Magram and to check in with Annalise to see how everything's been going.
Oh, of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, shall we get some breakfast? I believe Ileana Emberglow might be stopping by to buy this helmet back.
Breakfast sounds delightful. Did we want to invite the elves?
They were talking with Daria, and I don't know that we want to play any kind of hand just yet with them.
Especially if they're in any way connected to the Vanderlei Industries? Vanderbilt Industries?
Vandalay, yes.
Vanderlei Industries. Like, I don't think we want to play our hand with that.
All right. Well, let's head on down for some breakfast and see if we can't get this, check some things off our list. I'll bring the helmet, and I'll have that really cool helmet with the woman's face singing under my arm as I walk down to breakfast.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Cool. So yeah, we'll just kind of as you guys walk down the stairs and go into the main entry for the Grand Towers Hotel, you actually end up passing Ileana Emberglow. She's dressed a little different than she was at the party. At the party, she was wearing like a nice gown. It was still a little bit. I'll say the skirt was a little short. It was a little more sporty than other dresses that you saw there. But now she is wearing full on studded leather armor. She's got a sword at her hip. And when you run into her, she's just she literally sees you. It looks like she's in a rush, and she pulls out a little bag of gold and she tosses it to you. And she's kind of motions for you to toss her the helmet.
I toss her the helmet.
She grabs it and she kind of salutes you and runs off. She is in a hurry to get somewhere.
She might be fighting in the tournament. Anyway, let's go.
She did not want to stick around and chat with you.
I'll check that off my list with a big red check mark.
Does that mean that maybe we should head over there too to make sure we're not signed up anymore?
After breakfast.
Oh, of course, of course.
So you guys head back down, and you guys are walking kind of through the main area here in the lobby of the Grand Towers Hotel. The bars are off to your right. The restaurants are off to your left. And as you guys are moving down, you see that in the more southern restaurant area, you can see that 2 people who you actually were going to talk to are actually sitting there eating breakfast already. You see Neldor Martin and his sister, Shireen Shadow Rose, are eating breakfast. As you kind of walk by, you guys are going to get breakfast here, I assume. But Shireen sees you. Neldor is sitting with his back to you, but Shireen sees you and she kind of waves you all over.
All right, I'll head on over.
Yeah, there's this little restaurant area that's off to the on the east side of the building as you guys are heading heading out, and you see Neldor and Shireen. She waves you over, and it looks like Neldor and Shireen are having a nice breakfast. They've got some eggs and some sausage. They've got some hash browns as well. Maybe eggs Benedict. I'm not really sure what that even is, but apparently it's delicious, and they're eating it.
Isn't eggs Benedict poached eggs with hollandaise sauce?
It is,
and it's delicious.
English muffins or something.
Yep. Over some kind of
so good.
Some kind of a crumpet.
They are eating that.
Yum. I'll have that, please.
Me too. I didn't realize this was such a brunch spot.
So as you guys sit down and start eating some breakfast, Shireen leans in and she says, I was speaking with our friend Anthony last night, and then he came by this morning earlier to let me know that he's arranged for me to go and speak with the head of Vandalay Industries today.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure, you had mentioned maybe wanting to come, and this could be a way for you to get into Vandalay with me. It would be in the afternoon, sometime before dinner.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know the time. I can definitely come, and I'll bring this little guy. He's good at finding his way in places he's not supposed to be. And he's so cute that nobody cares. Although we may need to take off the hat and tie for your espionage, and I'll reach down and try to take off his bow tie and his hat.
I don't know. It's quite the disguise.
Pranceville kind of jerks his head back a little bit, gives you a playful little nip, and then kind of scoots underneath the table away from your hands.
Okay, he likes it. So I guess that's now your undercover clothes as well. You're like some kind of British spy.
Does he need an alias?
He looks incredibly content.
All right, you look good. You look good, buddy.
Pants MacDonald. That's his alias. Sorry.
Instead of Sleeve McDykel.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh, and Neldo, one more thing. I didn't mention this last night because there was so much going on, but I have a lead.
You see that Neldor is sitting here, and you see that he's got his medal that he won last night in the fighting contest hanging around his neck. But you can see that the foil has been pulled back, and there's a bite missing out of it, and then he folded the foil back over it.
I love that.
Because it's chocolate.
So much.
So, Neldor, there's something else that I found out last night, but there was so much going on I didn't get a chance to let you know. I have some information about who might be behind Megan's attempts to disrupt things in Martin's Rest. And believe it or not,
His ears perk up.
keep it on the down low, because I don't have the why yet. I just have the name, Daria the Starlet.
Daria, the actress who is in town performing. Unlikely.
You remember the note? The note that we found that Megan had on her, it said, M, etc., 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 and it was signed D, and then the language also used some theater terms, changing the scene or moving on to the next scene. Anyway, I deftly approached her last night, and I just had a hunch, and I played on it, and it turns out, I think she, if not is behind everything, she's at least a piece in this puzzle. I have backstage passes for tonight, and I was going to attempt to get some more information, but I just wanted to let you know that Daria is someone to keep an eye out for, and those people that she interacts with.
So do you have any clue as to what the other scenes are? She said in the note that the scene that she was doing was wrapping up, which I'm assuming was the attacks on Martin's Rest.
Yeah,
Do you know what the next scene is?
Well, I guess it would be if Martin's Rest fell to some kind of a civil war or, takeover by the proletariat, then what would be the next logical thing to happen? I imagined some strong force would come in or appear as an ally, but help rein in the chaos. So maybe that was the next phase, that whoever could come in and do that. Or it could be something completely unrelated. I don't know.
Or she comes in and destabilizes Kladvina.
Well, he thinks about it for a second. He says, the way that the note was written was that it was done. It was already done. And Martin's Rest, although it was, I will say there was some turmoil. It was far from being a chaotic overthrow of the Count.
Did he ever find out what happened in the temple?
No.
He did not.
We didn't. We don't know.
That was a scene. That was a post-credit scene.
Well, here's the deal. You did take that broken stick from her backpack.
Oh, that's right. And I do know it's
important.
important.
You kept it. You do know it's important.
I have it with me. So I will say, at this point, I'll bring it out and I'll say, well, this stick was part of the things that she had on her. And it seems like at one point it was very important, some kind of a relic. She had it and it seemed important to her. So I made sure that it was kept safe. Do you recognize it?
He reaches out to take it.
I thought it could make an excellent flute, but
the banner's mine.
Let me.
The banner's mine.
He just wants
it
to hold back scratcher for a while. It's quite nice.
He looks at the one end, the end that goes a little too low, and he's like, you pull out a napkin and he wipes off the end. Sorry.
Well, for when you're scratching your lower back, your lower back.
Okay, so here's the deal. I am going to make a roll for Neldor right now. That is a 12.
Come on, Neldor rolled so much better when he was eating pie.
He did roll really well when he was eating pie.
To be fair, I would probably roll a lot better eating pie than recognizing a stick.
So that was so.
Didn't, bud.
I didn't need any pie.
I rolled so bad.
I'm looking at his insight. Give me a second. Neldor rolled a 15 insight. As he's holding this, he says, can you tell me anything more about it? So are you going to fill him in kind of about what you determined with the identify spell?
That it was part of, it's like the broken haft of some important weapon. There was magic in there. It's just residue at this point, but it was apparently pretty significant.
Yeah, like an artifact as opposed to just like a magical item.
Exactly, yeah.
He looks at it, he hefts it for a second, and he says, wait a minute. I seem to recall something about the Temple of Helm and the treasures that they held. You may not know this, but I actually spent the first few years of my life in the orphanage there at the Temple of Helm. And I actually was brought up somewhat in the ways of Helmite religion.
You were adopted?
I left there when I was 3, but I did go back for a few years after that. So in some of my earliest memories, I do seem to remember something about a spear, a broken spear. And he holds it up and he says, I think this may be a Helmite treasure, a Helmite artifact.
It's pronounced helmet, like this
and
thing.
He hands it back to you.
Okay. I guess okay. Do you want to take it back with you?
He says, no. And then he holds out his hand and says, but I will.
I mean, it doesn't belong to us. And if this is what she's looking for and you can keep it safe, probably best that you keep it somewhere else and take it back with you for protection rather than me carrying it with me backstage to the play that she's at and this is what she's looking for.
He kind of looks at it and he says, well, do you think maybe she has the other piece?
Ooh. And then could it be repaired?
And what does it do if it is repaired? You see that Shireen
usually spears are for stabbing. You have a spear.
You see that Shireen has kind of like, I mean, she's listening, but she's starting to get antsy because this is not why she came. She came to figure out why her husband was killed. And now you guys are talking about something different.
So she can move on.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Shireen. As you can tell, we're very worldly with tons of irons and tons of fires. But don't worry, we're going to give your situation our full attention.
Of course.
After we finished putting all our attention on this.
He says, something to think about. I can hold on to this if you would like me to. I can take it back to the Temple of Helm. Or we can use this to try to lure out Daria's real intentions. And maybe who her other associates may be.
Are you by any chance competing in the tournament?
Me? No, I wasn't even planning on coming up this way. I got word that my sister had come up here, and then he looks over at her by herself, and she goes, I brought a guard, and I brought Jeeves. He goes, by
also,
herself.
women are allowed to travel by themselves. I don't see why that's an issue.
Yeah.
It's not about I wouldn't travel here by myself. It's dangerous. She traveled into a known necro-purge area.
Okay, well, she's here now.
She's
here
now
a
and
big
so
girl.
am I.
She can make her own decisions. I was just trying to think, if you were fighting in the tournament and you maybe used this as your weapon, and it was, and I don't know, you advertised, hey, this is a treasure from Martin's Rest, and I'm using it to win the tournament or something, that might put a target on you, and then we could come for whoever comes for you. If you're comfortable being the bait.
But you're fighting in the tournament.
No!
About
They
that.
said your names.
They did say our names. They did.
Goblet of Fire.
Here's the problem.
Oh, yes, of course. Dobby.
Yes. It wasn't even Dobby that did it. It was the fake Moody Mad-Eye.
I don't remember.
You see, that's a play that I didn't see.
Barty Crouch Jr.
Right. It was David Tennant.
I just remember that that the slaves in the Harry Potter universe are happy being slaves.
Right.
Ugh,
Yes.
that's uncomfortable.
So
It is so uncomfortable. I can't. Anyway, sorry. I'll get off my
topics.
soapbox. Probably
Okay.
a good idea.
Well, here's us. Ornan, he could pass as. Ornan is a very talented warrior. He makes sense to fight in this tournament. You know me.
Oh, Neldor, I got this new hammer. I can't kill anymore with it.
He nods at that. Like, I'm happy for you.
You know me. I look like, I could swing a sword, and I can swing a sword, but there's some other things that really, help me survive that I wouldn't be able to do. And then Sylvie, what's she going to do? Play the flute at them? Anything else?
Anything else?
I'm
And they'd be
whispering.
astonished.
I'm whispering. Anything else would get her burned.
I mean, unless she could somehow convince everyone that her power is divine as opposed to arcane, but I don't see that happening.
Right. So we're not a good fit for this tournament. So I'm actually going to go to the Tempestarium to have our names removed. And the Swordmaster Gelmar has said that he's going to conduct an investigation into who would sully this sacred tournament.
Yes, the Feast of Sweets tournament has a very rich traditional and past. Feast of Sweets.
Yeah, it's a silly name, but it's an important event. He said the same thing.
Yes. Well, I will leave this staff in your hands for now. We can talk about it more later, and let's plan on meeting. And he looks over at his sister. So, Shireen, when would you like to head over to Vandalay? And she says, let's do it at 4. That way, it's close enough to dinner time that if we feel like we are in over our heads, we can use leaving for dinner as an excuse. And he says, that sounds good to me.
All right, 4:00. And then we can all come, or whoever needs to come. Ornan, Sylvie.
The invitation was for any of my party, so you're all welcome to come.
And
I
when
love a good corporate espionage. It's my
And when
favorite kind of spionage.
That's better than what I was going to say. Okay. All right. 4:00. 4:00. And we'll meet out in front of the building.
Yes, Vandalay is on the Hammer, which is the kind of the northwest most island, where a lot of shipwrights and there's a lot of the not so much the mercantile. Well, how should you say this? Basically, a lot of craftsmen are out on the Hammer. Not a lot of
So it's industrial
business.
zone, not commercial zone.
Exactly. Yes. That's a great way of putting it. I will meet you there at 4:00.
All right. And I'm going to scarf the rest of my eggs Benedict and say, let's go check on our friend.
Okay. All right. You guys scoot on out of the Grand Towers Hotel.
Yeah, we even rent the electric scooters out front.
Before we leave the hotel, I want to grab Mr. Vadir
Oh, okay.
or one of the butlers. Or
You
something.
actually see Mr. Bell, the head concierge, at the front at the desk.
What about Mr. Wadsworth? Is there Mr. Wadsworth?
Potentially on a different floor.
Ornum will go up to Mr. Bell and say, Mr. Bell, I believe we're in need of some tickets to the showing tonight for the play.
Oh, for Unlikely?
Yes, Unlikely.
Okay.
One of my friends procured some VIP tickets. Is there any chance that we might be able to secure 2 to 3 more tickets?
I will look into it. I'm sure that even if they're sold out, I'm sure there's a way to get more. What level would you like? Would you like general admission? Would you like VIP? Or would you like somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere in the middle is just fine.
Okay. That would be more than...
Don't we want VIP? Don't we all want to be together?
Well, how much would that put us back?
So the VIP booths, the balconies, are there's room for 2 people per balcony. They are private. Kind of the middle of the road would be the second balcony, which is like the 3rd floor. And those are a little bit less expensive. The cheapest seats are actually also up there. They're just benches, but let's see. Let me think.
Quick, Paul, do medieval math.
He starts cycling. He starts flipping through some pages there that you can't see, like on the other side of the desk. He says, "Oh yes, tickets for Unlikely. General admission is 2 gold per ticket, whereas
so they're buying tickets and then scalping them later."
Classic
probably.
Ticketmaster.
I thought he was just being typical high-end concierge who has his little podium with all reference to everything in the city.
He is. They can procure you the tickets. There will be a small surcharge, though.
Okay.
His processing fee, if
his
you will.
full name is Mr. Bell Ticketmaster.
Yes. Exactly. No, so he says so general admission is 2 gold per ticket, whereas the balcony would be 4 gold and the VIP is 10 gold per ticket. It looks like there are still some tickets available for the VIP section as well as the general admission, which would be on the floor.
Well, what say you?
I mean, I think even Sally No Last Name can afford that.
Well, let's we need at least 2 more. Should we get an extra?
I doubt Danon would come, so I guess it's just in case I have one for me and potentially one of you or Baldric. If Margram's awake and feeling up to it, and we just need 1 more.
Okay.
You know what? Let's be optimistic. Here, I'll pitch in for that last ticket.
So you buy 3 tickets. Okay, he just needs 30 gold.
Sylvie will put down
we have to do
15.
4 tickets because it's they're private booths.
Okay. All right. Sylvie will put down 20 gold.
I'll put down 20 as well.
You need to stay in this goddamn hotel. You're not going to tell me I can't get fancy VIP service.
Do I want to sit on a bench? Come on.
Ornan will put 20 gold down as well.
Okay, perfect. All right, you guys end up getting enough tickets for everybody, including Magram, should he wake up.
All right, let's go see Magram. Everybody ready?
All right.
As we're heading toward the glass house of Shantaeat, I would like to look around for just some evidence, remnants of what was going on last night that made the city so dangerous. Are there body parts or scratches on doors or things like that?
Okay.
Is it animal? Is it undead?
So, yeah, as you guys start moving through town,
column A, column B,
you don't even really need to do any kind of check because it is fairly obvious that it was more dangerous on the streets. You can see that there are some scraps of clothing and armor kind of pushed off into some of the alleyways. You can see that there's a random femur lying over kind of in a ditch. It looks like they have made an attempt to clean up the streets, but there are still remnants of some kind of undead. You see patrolling around the streets, not just the normal guards of Kladvina, but you also see on the canals, you see these sailors who are also soldiers of Kladvina, and you see these Syrian mercenaries with their kind of pink and black armor. So you see that patrolling around the city, it's a much more show of force than there was last time or yesterday. So you see a little bit of the remnant of the battles and things of the fighting and the unrest, but you see more just the show of force. Also, if you guys want to see the Glass House of Shantea, you guys can go to the wiki, and you guys can go to the basement, and you can see where I'm going to be describing. Also, I made the second floor of the Glass House of Shantea, and there's a balcony that overlooks all the different gardens, and there's these blue flowers that are hanging down off of the balconies, and it looks really, really cool.
Oh, this is a nice place for Magram to be.
Yeah,
covering.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so you guys head back towards the Glass House of Shantea, where Magram has been recuperating. You head into the main area of the temple. You can see there are these gardens that are built inside. As you recall, the roof is green glass. That's why it's called the Glass House of Shantea. It's a greenhouse in here, basically. It's warmer in here than it is outside. Even though the sun's not necessarily like shining, it's covered with clouds and stuff. Just the enclosed nature and just when the sun does shine, it just really warms it up in here. You can see there's orange trees over in one plot.
Wait, orange-colored trees or growing oranges?
No, growing oranges. You can see there's a little apple orchard here inside. You can see that there is like some pumpkins and some cauliflower growing. You even see one plot that is dedicated to plant life from the Underdark, from where Ornan is from. You see these gray trees with purple leaves that are shaped like a hand that they call a palm tree. It's an Underdark palm tree. It's different than the overworld palm trees.
We use those for thatch.
I think that's what you said last time.
I know it is.
Could you imagine having your whole roof of your house just be overlaying rubber gloves?
The kind that smell like grape?
Yeah.
That's awesome. As you move in, you see that there are some of these different acolytes, these followers of Shantea. Yeah, so you see, like there are these. They're called Sister of the Earth. These women acolytes of Shantea, and then you see just a few men who are called Watchful Brothers. They're moving around. You pull one aside and you ask to go see Magram, and then he takes you down into the basement. So you go back to the back of the building, down some stairs, and into the basement living areas of the Glass House of Shantea. First thing you notice when you get down to the bottom is that the floor is grass. It is growing down here. You can see that hanging from the ceiling, there are these light fixtures, these kind of orbs, and they give off light. But when you get down here, it actually almost seems brighter down here than it was upstairs. These fixtures, these lanterns are giving off daylight. Some sort of a magical construct to lighten this space, which has no windows because you're in a basement. You move down into the hallway and are led to a wooden door. As you open the door, you can see that there is a single bed. The room is relatively small. It's like 15 feet by 15 feet. You can see there is a single bed. You see that there is another one of these orbs hanging down over the bed. The floor is covered in flowers, not like laid down like it's going to be a romantic evening, but like growing flowers. Like this bed is laid down in the middle of a flower bed. And on the bed, you see Magram. He's laying there. He still has a big, huge bouquet of flowers across his chest. He appears to be sleeping. Maybe his chest is rising and falling as he breathes. And sitting in a chair in the corner, you can see Annalise is sitting there, and she looks like she is dozing.
How does Magram look? Does he look any healthier?
Make a perception or investigation check or medicine check. Make a medicine check.
I was hoping you were going to pull Jordan out of your pocket here and throw him into the podcast, but
that's only a 6 medicine.
It looks the same. I mean, it's good to see him in the sunlight. It looks like, that it just kind of, the sunlight always makes things look a little bit more alive than like artificial light, for sure.
But he always was wearing black and like covered up in a hat and trench coat. So I don't know. It just doesn't look natural for him.
Yeah. We did bring his baby powder. We can put some of that on him.
Ooh, give him a little goth makeup.
Yes,
could you imagine baby powdering somebody to slip them into their leather pants and leather shirt while they're unconscious?
Oh my gosh. As you guys come in and you start looking at Magram, Annalise kind of stirs and she kind of opens her eyes. Good morning.
I'll go put my hand on her shoulder. How's he doing?
No change. Nothing yet.
How are you doing?
I had a dream. You probably did too.
We did.
Let me pull it up real quick. Sorry. I was there earlier.
While you're pulling that up, I'll fill you in on my dream.
The end.
Scene.
So anyway, it looks like he might be heading toward Verlina.
Yes. Okay, Verlina.
I was hoping to see the little birdhouse in the sky, but unfortunately that wasn't the case.
He seemed happy though, right? You said he seemed happy. Please.
Yes, he did seem happy. Happier than he was, which is something.
Okay, good.
Well, my dream was short, but one thing that we do know is that, Peter was talking to somebody. I couldn't see who he was speaking with. Peter wasn't looking at them. He was staring at his journal. He was making notes, and one thing that he mentioned was that the person behind him who was speaking with him didn't need to worry because the prosperous path would turn a blind eye as long as he kept paying his dues and making sizable donations.
He is a member of the prosperous path. Continue.
That's really all there was. It did seem as though he was packing for a trip to leave, but I don't know where to. So I don't expect him to be where he's at much longer.
Okay, so Grundfort might not be the best destination if we're looking to intercept him.
But he's not traveling as we do. He's not a pack on his back and hitting the road. No, he travels in style. He travels with an entourage. He travels well.
Okay. All right.
If I have a question for you. If Jib Jab and Bubbles have an aura, perhaps the rest of them do too. Do we have any idea what Spritz's aura or Peter's or any of the other auras might be?
I think James's might be straight up making people fall in love with him, and it doesn't always work.
Annalise says, and I've been thinking about that as well. I think Peter's has something to do with greed or avarice. I think he has something about... It's like the impression I get when I see through his eyes is that it doesn't matter how much he has, it's never enough. But it also seems like for him it comes and goes so fast.
Sounds like an evil corporation, maybe.
I get the impression that he has earned and lost fortunes over the last centuries. And currently, right now, it seems as if he's on an upswing.
Okay, well...
He's like that woman from The Greatest Showman. Never, never, never enough.
Oh, she's that Swedish lady. Okay. So I don't know if you're getting the latest news down here, but apparently last night was especially bad as far as the city streets.
Traveling at night is dangerous, so be sure to travel with someone.
And we think that the actual cause of this would potentially be Jib Jab and Bubbles kind of colliding.
Would their auras combine? Would it be undead beasts?
Seems to be what Jib Jab saw in Sylvie's dream.
I think that seems like a likely possibility. And I think the more auras we add, the more it's going to compound.
Like an evil Captain Planet.
Yes.
What was his name again?
Gasp.
I just remember loot and plunder.
I can't remember. Wasn't there like an opposite version of... Anyway.
So Annalise says, well, I don't plan on going anywhere until we know how Margram's going to react.
Is there anything we can bring to you while you're down here, or are they taking good care of you?
Oh, they're taking good care. Actually, surprisingly, some of the freshest fruit and vegetables I've had ever.
And grown in a basement, imagine that.
Yes.
Okay, well, we have some things to take care of today. We are. Oh, I'll fill her in on the whole Daria thing as well from Martin's Rest.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
So we're gonna see the play tonight, but we have these plans, but they could all come crashing down at any minute. As soon as whatever's building up, crests over the walls of the city, I think it'll be interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, she says, yeah, it seems like we know something is coming, but it's not here yet. So do we seek it out, or do we wait for it to come? It sounds like what you had told me that Danon is not waiting.
Right, which worries me. I think she may be in danger alone.
Well, nature will provide for her. At least that's what she says.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll stay here with Magram. Just keep me informed and I'll let you know. I'll send word to the Grand Towers Hotel if anything changes with Magram.
All right.
I brought some nail polish. If you have a moment, perhaps, polish his nails.
Oh, of course.
It's black, right?
Black.
The
it's
nail
just
polish.
black.
Oh, good. Nice. Yes.
Yes, I didn't bring the ones for my skin tone. Just his.
I think that he would like that. Okay. So she takes the nail polish and she starts getting to work on his nails. All right. What do you guys want to do? I know there's a lot of things still on your list, and we did not get very far into any of them yet. So are we splitting up? Are you guys staying together? What's the plan?
I'll just go see if I can't get us unsigned up for the Tempestarium if you all want to head to the Isle of Mirrors.
Well, I'd be interested in going to the Tempestarium too, just to see it and see what's there.
Okay.
See if you can figure out who signed us up. I have a feeling they might be the main bad guy of this next arc.
Right.
That's true.
And so Baldric, do you want to accompany Sylvie to the Isle of Mirrors while we go to the Tempestarium?
Did you say Paul?
Baldric.
I said Baldric.
Baldric.
Okay. I'm like, I think I'm going to be both places. Baldric says, yes, of course, I will accompany Milady to the Isle of Mirrors, the most romantic place here in Kladvina.
As an intern, you'll be in charge of getting her coffee.
They're called Junior Associates. I think
Sorry.
it's more a PC.
You're still not paid, though. College credit's all you get.
And the satisfaction of doing a good job.
Oh, yeah, also that. Yay, corporate America.
Yay. All right. Well, then you guys leave the Glass House of Shantea and you split up. Guy and Ornan head towards the Tempestarium. Sylvie and Baldric, you head towards the Isle of Mirrors. Looking at the map, it looks like the Isle of Mirrors is much closer to where you are at, but you will need to hire a gondola. And also, getting to the Tempestarium, you can walk there, but it'd be much faster for you to take a gondola as well. So, who claims Little Butter?
Ugh, Little Butter.
You know what? I'll let the lovebirds have Little Butter.
Sure, we can let them have it.
Baldric's like, wait, what? Love, what are you talking about? I don't even know. You guys, I don't even know what you're talking about. You guys, you're silly. Guys.
So being silly.
Anyway.
We don't have to pretend. I know the Oracle. He knows we're coming to see what's going on there. We don't have to pretend to be lovers. It's okay.
Yes, that's what I memeant.
Oh, right.
Did he see the future? Saw you coming?
Ornan, I wonder if he saw you coming last night.
Was he that interested?
I can't wait to hear the...
He said he does not creep on things. I don't believe him. But he did say it.
He said he doesn't even do divination anymore. But that's what he said in public.
Yeah, I don't believe him.
Okay, so all four of you head out and you split up. 2 of you heading towards the Isle of Mirrors and 2 of you heading towards the Tempestarium. We are going to go to the Isle of Mirrors first. Sylvie and Baldric. You ride your gondola. It goes down the Great Serpent, which is this large, kind of the largest canal that runs through the middle of the city. And then you take a couple of offshoots and into some more narrow parts to the Isle of Mirrors. The Isle of Mirrors is this beautiful square temple. It's built out on its own island. There is its own little dock. You cannot access this temple without taking a gondola. The first thing that you noticed about this temple, this Isle of Mirrors, is that there are very few windows. It looks like there are just a couple of windows on the front, and those are covered with thick, like dark green curtains, so that no light actually gets into the Isle of Mirrors. It's probably dark inside. As you kind of paddle around to this dock, you can see that there are walkways, there are little gardens around the temple, and you see that there are people walking around, just kind of enjoying kind of the beauty here at the Isle of Mirrors. It's very serene, even though you're in the middle of the city, because you can't just walk here. People don't just walk by. So it's like a little oasis in the middle of the city of kind of calm and peace. As you get off the dock, you see that there is a staircase leading up to these grand doors that enter in. They are currently shut. So you and Baldric approach the temple to Savras on the Isle of Mirrors. Also, it looks like the little Butter Brothers brought them here.
The little Butter Brothers? Oh, they need to have their own adventure. Just being racist and rhyming.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
We had Disney in the 50s.
All right. You guys get up onto this dock and start heading up the stairs to the front door. When you get there, you see there is a bell out in front, and Baldric kind of looks at you and kind of shrugs, and then he rings the bell. And nothing happens. And you stand there and you wait. And then after about 2 minutes, the door opens, and standing on the other side, you see an old dwarf. You see he's got a long white beard. He's wearing kind of fur-trimmed robes of state, kind of these elegant but also kind of religious robes as vestments. He's got like a little, like a stole, or like a what's that? I guess it's like a stole that hangs around his neck and hangs down into the front that is blue. And he is carrying this staff that has this elaborate headpiece on it. And he says, Sally, also known as Sylvie Everpine. And you are? And then Baldric says, I'm Baldric the Black. He says, welcome. Please come into the Isle of Mirrors. And he steps aside to allow you in.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. As you walk in, the first thing you notice is the room is dark. It is lit by torches on the wall, and the windows that are high up above are curtained off and closed. You see mirrors lining all of the walls. This first chamber that you come into, there are two pools of water, one to the north and one to the south. As you walk between them, the water almost perfectly still. It is incredibly quiet and calm in here. As you move further into the temple, you can see other rooms that have large pools of water that are surrounded by mirrors, but he does not take you into any of these rooms. He says, let me take you down to the basement where I can show you some of the things that maybe might interest you more. Please follow me.
Are we the only folks in the building?
You are the only folks in the temple.
What's the deal with the pools here? Are they like hot tubs for like...
That's what I wanted to know, if there are people soaking.
Are they hot tubs for lovers?
With I think Sylvie would know, just with her knowledge of magic, is that diviners will use mirrors, and they will oftentimes also use like bowls of water. So this is like mirrors and dim light and incredibly still water. This is like everything that you would need to divine the future, to divine, to use your divination magic, but also in a very kind of artistic and beautiful way as well. So these pools are, in essence, also mirrors because the water is so smooth. You can see your own reflection in them. Gralin, he moves down these stairs. There's a spiral staircase leading down. It is much darker down here than up above. And he moves down a hallway, takes a corner, and then into a room that you see is actually an office of some kind. You see there are a couple of shelves on the wall. There is a desk. And he motions for you, Sylvie and Baldric, to have a seat.
Thank you for bringing us into your home.
He says, of course. He says, Sylvie Everpine. So I'm going to let you know a few things. I looked into you last night. I sense that you are telling me the truth about who you are. And that although you were being abstract, you were also letting me know that you are from the Hive, which is where I am from as well. It says, I have been here in Kladvina for 25 years, and I am fairly certain that you are doing the same thing that I started doing when I came here. That is finding others to help get them away from the dangers of who they are here in this world and taking them to the Hive where they can grow and they can exercise their power and gain intelligence. Am I mistaken? Is that what you are doing, Sylvie?
It is one of the things that I'm doing, yes. And I would love to hear your story and how you came to be here, to be honest. This is surprising.
He says, I love the Hive and I love my time there. What you are doing is dangerous. And Sylvie, I would recommend that you stop if you value your life.
I don't understand. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm only trying to help folks avoid the unfair injustices that are associated with performing magic.
Yes, I know, and it is a valiant and worthwhile effort.
What, should we all just pretend like we're not using magic? Like you are? Like that? We can't all do that.
Do you know a woman named Jelowin?
Yes.
Do you know what happened to Jelowin?
I was there when what happened to Jelowin happened.
That is what awaits all of us here in this world. If you are not willing... Sylvie, years of experience, I am trying to help you. If you value knowledge and if you value the power that you have and you want to grow, this is not the place to do it. Go home, Sylvie. Go home and study. Go home and learn. Go home and grow. The Hive is an Eden. And this place here, for people like you and me, it's hell.
Then why did you stay?
You know, I ask myself that all the time. Part of me is embarrassed that I gave up on our mission. I haven't sent anyone to the Hive in decades because I came very close to being caught multiple times.
Silly guy, that's when you kill him.
He says, I do still practice my art. I do things here in secret and in private that I don't advertise to the rest of the city. I've seen things, and things are coming. And Sylvie, if you value your life and your safety, you will head back to the hive as soon as possible, because it is only going to get more dangerous.
Have you possibly dreamed things?
I have not dreamed things, but I have seen things in my bowls and in my mirrors. He says, I've seen a raven obsessed with living forever, and another raven, smaller, younger, just hoping for release. I see an old owl fall out of a tree and lie as if dead, and then suddenly it spreads its wings and rises into the air. I've seen two massive waves rushing towards each other, a castle on a rocky outcropping standing equidistant between them, and I know that castle on the rock is Kladvina. I see an intricate anvil thrumming with blue energy, with an elaborately filigreed spearhead lying atop it and a hammer held in a slender hand, waiting with pent-up anticipation for a missing piece. Things are not safe here. Things are happening. Things are in motion. And Sylvie, if you are an Everpine, I know your parents, and I'm sure they miss you. And I feel it's my duty, my obligation to them, and the love that I bore for them, that I advise you, go home. I can send you home today. Baldric is sitting in the corner, like eyes wide, like what is going on?
I appreciate the concern, I do. But I too have had visions, although not as divination. Me and my friends are dreamers. And in fact, we have the visions of those necromantic owls and crows.
So you know what they mean?
Yes, and I think that we can stop them. And that is part of what I want to do while I'm out here. I mean, would that not prove that magic is a net positive overall? I mean, maybe not, because we are canceling out negative magic, but still, good guns.
He says,
good guys with guns.
he said, oh my gosh. He says, Sylvie, I'm not saying that what we do is bad. No, I think that what we do is wonderful, but it's dangerous. And not because of what we're doing, but because of the people here in this world. But you dream? You dream.
I dream.
Sylvie, would you let me divine your future, your life?
I guess I could. Yeah. That would be okay, I think.
Baldric's like, I'll just stay back here.
He's
like,
also a dreamer. He also dreams. Just
he
FYI.
shakes his head. He's like, oh, yeah, just every once in a while, no big deal.
Fun fact, Witcher 3 taught me that the interpretation of dreams for divination purposes is called oniromancy.
I did not know that.
Well, very cool. Grolin says, oh, well, Sylvie Everpine, if you'll accompany me, I'll take you to the innermost sanctum, and I would like to see what I can see of your future.
All right, but if it's bad, I'm going to give this place a 1-star review.
All right. He heads back in. You can follow him if you want to. He heads out the door. Baldric's like, I'll just stay here. You can tell he's like very uncomfortable being in this space.
Good call. You stand guard.
Yeah. Grolum has already moved out. And as you move past him, Sylvie, he leans in and he says, I'm going to have a look around.
That seems like a good plan.
All right. You see that as you head out the door, Baldric starts heading towards the desk to start kind of looking through papers and things. You follow Grolem out the door. He leads you through this chamber. The chamber is like circular. At the far end, there's an archway that heads further into this kind of innermost sanctum. But on the floor, you see a symbol, like a mandala. You've seen a couple of these before. This is a teleportation circle. And no Arcana check needed, Sylvie. You're fairly certain this teleportation circle will take you right back to the hive if you want to go.
I am not standing in that bitch.
He moves right past it, and then into a kind of a deeper, darker hallway. He turns a corner and heads down to this deep kind of underground pool. You can see that there are pillars that come up out of the pool that support the roof high above, and there are these stepping stones that lead out into the center of the pool where there is a platform. And on top of the platform, there is a basin. And in the basin, there is water, crystal clear, totally still. Grolem looks over and he sees his reflection. Sylvia, as you lean over, you can also see your reflection. And he grabs the back of your head and drowns you. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Terrible. Sorry.
Whoa.
That got dark real fast. All right. Sylvie, you are standing there on the pedestal next to him as he is looking into the bowl, and he says, can I take your hands?
I consent.
He chops him off.
No!
He holds both of your hands as he stands on one side of the bowl and you stand on the other. And he takes your hands and puts them on the side of the bowl. And then he takes his hands over your hands. So he is like holding your hands to the side of the bowl. And he gazes down into the bowl. You can hear him mumbling to himself as he is casting some sort of spell, some sort of divination. And he says, a raven covered in blood stands atop the corpse of another raven. And then it suddenly takes wing, flying towards your face, Sylvie, as an arrow streaks through the sky towards the back of your head. And as he's thinking, he kind of like squints and he says, I can't tell if the arrow is headed for you, Sylvie, or if it's headed for the raven attacking you. And then he's quiet for a moment longer, just mumbling to himself. Then he says, I see an ancient map unrolled with a city named Sylvie. And Sylvie, this is your home. And then he goes quiet again. And then a couple 30, 40 seconds later, he says, an Aeonin in black robes trimmed in gold is tied to a post, fire licking the bottom of their feet. Then he's quiet again. And he says, a beautiful green and brown butterfly is trapped in a spider's web as a silver spider approaches from below, leaving behind multiple wrapped up husks. And then he kind of closes his eyes and he lets go of your hands. And he looks at you, Sylvie, and he says, you are in danger.
It's not all bad news, though. I mean, apparently you're the mayor of a city.
I was just gonna say, but tell me more about Sylvie City.
Okay, sorry, tension.
That was not as much good news as I would have liked.
There's tension. Sorry. I'll be quiet.
Something is coming. Waves are crashing against Kladvina. A raven attacks you as an arrow streaks towards the back of your head. A spider approaches from below. I fear for you, Sylvie. If you wish to go home, I can send you home now. But if you feel you must stay, I understand that as well.
I mean, I'm here to stay for the moment. I would love it if you could send a letter home, but no, I need to stay at least for the time being. But I appreciate the wisdom.
I understand. You can see that he's kind of like, he seems a little deflated, not like disappointed, like kind of worn out from doing these divinations.
Sylvie will kind of offer him her arm and just kind of help him walk back through the temple.
Yeah. You take him back to his office, and as you are approaching, you and he are talking. I am going to make a check here real quick. Okay. Let me look at this. I gotta look at something, guys.
God, if he got caught and gives me some bad rep, I'm gonna be so pissed.
All right. As you guys approach the office again, you can see that Baldric is sitting back in the corner where he was before, and Grolum goes and sits in his chair, kind of worn out, kind of tuckered out, and he says, "Sylvie, I can send a letter home for you. That's not a problem. If ever you want to come and just talk about your time in the hive and let me know how things are going there, I would love to know that. I mean, I can see it in some of my foretellings, but I don't know, first-hand account. I would love to hear your take on how things are going."
I appreciate that. I hope we can spend much more time together in the future.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for everything. And Sylvie, good luck. We are heading now across town as a different gondola, not Little Butter. This one is Pole Package. You guys got on Einar's.
Apparently, this whole city only has 2 gondolas in it.
No, it has more than that. You guys just happen to get the only 2 that I have names for. You guys head over to
Seeing Pole Package is the only other gondola available. I'll wait like 10 minutes for the next one to come by.
Okay, cool.
What's that one called?
You guys
tell us about the pilot.
All right. The next one that comes paddling up, actually, you see the gondola appears to be like extra small, and you realize, no, it's actually just that the pilot of the gondola is extra big. You see sort of like kind of a bluish colored skin and almost like a fur and these large ears. This guy is standing easily 7.5 feet tall. It is a furbolg, and he is paddling along in a gondola. And it's like, oh, hey, you need a ride somewhere?
He doesn't have paddles. He's just using his hands.
Boom da dum da dum. I have big hands. That's the song I sing as I paddle.
And I see on the side of your boat here that your name is Big Handy Andy.
Yes, I'm Big Handy Andy.
You left out an S. It's Big Handsy Andy.
Oh,
yes, big.
That's after dark.
Big Handsy Andy. Well, hop aboard, and I can take you where you want to go. And he paddles you over to the.
What a fantastic little vessel! What do you call it?
I call it Lil Bessie.
Big Margarine.
Big Margarine.
Oh, that's right. It's Little Butter. No, it can't be Lil Bessie. I call this. I call this lightweight.
Oh, all right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Hey, I have a question. How racist are you?
Oh, not at all. Not at all, friend.
You're my new favorite.
All right, so big Handsy Andy starts paddling you guys down the canal. You can see in the distance. You can see in the distance the Tempestarium. You see this large Colosseum. It rises. The walls on the outside rise up easily 100 or more feet tall. You can see it's. Imagine the Roman Colosseum, the Colosseum of Rome, only not destroyed and a little bit more solid, and not so many archways and things. But he paddles you there towards the Tempestarium. As you get off, you have to walk a few blocks to get there. As you approach the entrance to the Tempestarium, you can see this is the main entry for people who are going to watch the battles. You're not sure if there's a different entrance or not. You can see that there are these 2 large statues flanking the doors. They are tall and armored. They have golden or bronze helmets on over this like stone statue. They are holding large axes in their hands. Not necessarily like beautiful craftsmanship, but definitely a show of like force and prowess of war. as you enter into this main lobby area, you can see that there is this large, like kind of a square counter where it looks like you can buy tickets in order to go and see the battles. You can see that going up on either side of this lobby are these large grand staircases. It looks like they head up to the seating area. You can see there are banners hanging on the wall, different like battle banners, different like ones that like a black like antler underneath a bloody hand. There's also more like heraldic banners with like a blue and white eagle flying on a field that's all checky. So just a plethora of different battle banners, and you can see that at the far end of the lobby, kind of on the other side of this large ticket counter, you see that there is an archway leading further into the complex. You see that there are people milling about here. It looks like some sort of clerks and things, but you're still early enough in the day that people have not started to arrive for the actual tournament. The tournament is set to begin right after lunch. And one of the clerks kind of speaks up. Hey, we're not open yet for seating, but would you like to buy some tickets to the Feast of Sweets tournament that starts today?
Wait, Professor Ironspark, is that you?
No, that'll be this guy, Bill's house and Jim's house. No, I'm just a guy. I'm just a different guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, you look like just a guy. What's your name?
Yeah, you can call me. My name is Clerk Kent.
No aliases whatsoever.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're here to see Swordmaster Gelmar. He's expecting us. We are from Wilhelm Associates, and there's been a mistake in getting us signed in.
We were told to expect you, Wilhelm Associates. Yes, if you want to just head on down here, if you go down this hall behind me, his office will be right there on the right once you get to the foyer back there.
All right, and
if you hit the barracks, then you've gone too far.
I gotta say, kudos to you saying foyer correctly. Foyer, come on. All right. Okay.
Oh.
Well, sorry. It was nice to meet you, Mr. Kent.
Oh, nice to meet you too. And if you do want tickets, you gotta purchase them here. Don't trust those scalpers.
Well, we'll head on back then.
All right, you guys move further into this complex. The hallway is wide, like 10 feet wide. There are these burning torches on the wall. This isn't like other places where there's candles and things, like more prim and here, the door is here, guys.
Oh, okay. I just saw there's some of Torgal's Tuskers there. I wanted to say hey.
I'm getting that to that point. You guys move down the hall. It's just a short little hall, and it opens up into this foyer. In the center of the foyer, there is like this tile work mosaic on the floor. It looks like some sort of like you see like a Celtic knot pattern is on the floor. You can see that on the western wall, there are these suits of armor, and above each of the suits of armor, there are these other banners of different battle banners that are displayed. You can see there are shields on the walls as well. But on the eastern side, on the right side of the foyer, you can see that there is a door, kind of a step down to this door. You imagine that must be Swordmaster Gelmar's office, but the hallway continues past the foyer, and you can see there is a door at the far end. But standing here in this hallway, looks like just before you get to the area of the barracks and kind of the under Colosseum area, you see two orcs. It looks like they're having a conversation. Two orcs that you recognize. It's two of Torgal's Tuskers. It looks like the younger male orc, who I don't remember if you guys figured out his name or not. I think we did. His name is Kurgan. He is large, tough looking. He was angrily talking with Torgal yesterday or the day before when you saw him. Yeah,
he's the hothead. Yeah,
and he is speaking with another orc, and she has a bow on her back. She seems to be some kind of an archer. They're having a heated conversation. It doesn't look like they are yelling at each other, but they are talking in a heated way. And if you guys want to make insight checks, you can do that.
Ornan got a 22.
And Geek got a dirty 20.
It looks like Kurgan is complaining to Drestel, and to the archer, and even though you don't know what he's saying, you can see her nodding. it seems that with your insight checks, something in Torgal's Tuskers is not... there's something going on amongst the group, and it looks like Kurgan and this archer might be on the same page.
I think there might be a coup. I wonder if they're going to do a heel turn in the middle of their fight. Hit Torgal with a chair or something.
Oh, that would be unexpected and quite dramatic.
I got a question. Do you guys see anything else in this map?
Yes, I can see through someone else's eyes.
Okay. Can everybody else see through somebody else's eyes?
Oh, I wasn't zoomed out enough. Hey, it's me!
Yes. All right.
It's the B-side. We see the B-side tokens over
Yes.
in another part.
Yeah, so you see this door going into Swordmaster Gelmar's office. You can see there is like a cross swords above the door.
Right, let's show ourselves in.
Right. Yeah, you just kind of walk on in and you see that sitting behind the desk is Swordmaster Gelmar. He is this older black man. He is wearing not elaborate plate armor. I guess it is kind of elaborate, not shining like the paladins of Helm were wearing, but definitely battle ready. His armor is chased with gold. He has like a salt and pepper beard and mustache, hair cut short. As you come on in, he sees you. He says, Guy, and these must be the Wilhelm Associates.
These are, a couple of us associates. This is Ornan. Oh, sorry, this is Toonces.
But he just said your real name.
That's right. Okay, this is Ornan. Remember how I was saying I used some different names because, I'm the face. Well, also, for some reason, we decided to name him Toonces while we were in town. We thought it'd be funny.
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I have not figured out who signed you up, but I was able to take you off the lists, so no worries, you will not be fighting. Sad to say that means that Ernesto Stonelance and the Vanguard will be moving forward without any kind of competition straight into the semifinals.
But you don't have any, bears on hand or something for them to fight?
Seems kind of ill-prepared if you don't ask me.
Right. I mean, these arenas are supposed to have bears and trapdoors in the floor and tigers and chariots with air compressors on them to flip them over at opportune times in the scene.
I assure you I do not know what you're speaking of, but no, there is no bears. We can't have a bear winning the Feast of Sweets tournament. That would be ridiculous. Pie eating contests, not ridiculous. A bear winning,
actually,
totally ridiculous.
That would be pretty epic, I will say. But you're right. You are the sword master. They don't use swords, so I see where you're coming from.
The Tempestarium is a place to give praise to Tempest by battling, as nothing is more pure than the heat of battle, and it warms Tempest's heart. A bear is not battling, a bear is surviving. There's a difference.
We have spent a long time on a gag. Sorry, I was trying to add some levity. I understand it's a very stressful time for you right now. I won't joke anymore. I just wanted to say that I appreciate you getting our name off the lists. And we are also very interested in if you find out anything about who signed us up. I don't even know that very many people knew we were in town.
That's
by that
true.
Name.
Especially in town with the name Wilhelm Associates.
We're very good at being sneaky and not letting our aliases slide.
He says, also, Guy, I wanted to speak with you about that other subject, the worshipper of Baal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and Ornan, he was there as well, so he knows what's up.
That's true. I saw the shrine and all the dead people's clothes and things.
Hold up. There seems to be somebody at the door.
That is quite the mustache.
Yeah, as you were talking, somebody comes to the door and he peeks in. He's a good looking dude. He's got this very nice mustache. He's got the little musketeer, little soul patch thing. He's wearing armor that's been dyed lacquered red. He looks in, he's got black hair, green eyes. He looks in, he says, Oh, you must be Wilhelm Associates. Well, I guess you're who I have to thank for chickening out.
Chickening out?
Ah, that's not the word I would put for what we did. We rightly didn't even sign up.
We didn't sign up originally.
Yeah, he says, I can't blame you for not wanting to face me, Ernesto Stonelance, and my vanguard.
That's it, we're in!
He insulted my honor.
I could be persuaded to take you on myself.
I have been successfully goaded. I'm kidding. Well, hey, talk yourself up all you want. We're not here to fight other people. There's obviously other things going on in town right now, and things are getting pretty terrible, and they're bound to get worse. So we're,
Says, wait a minute. I heard of you. You're the ones who lost the pie eating contest. He's looking at you, Arnon.
That's true. I got a pecan pie, and it was so lovely, I just got distracted and was enjoying myself.
Plus, he got some last night, so there.
Oh, there was quite a bit of climbing
He gives
involved.
you a little golf clap. Well, sleep off that pie while the adults in the room go and win a tournament. And then he turns around and heads off.
You
back
were
down the
barely
hall.
a sperm when I had been, perhaps 100 years. Oh, he's gone.
I'll yell back after him. They'll be like, I look forward to watching the B-side kick your ass.
Yeah, so Swordmaster Gilmar is like, I'm sorry about that. Ernesto is, he's an arrogant ass, but he is very good at what he does.
Swordmaster.
What's funny? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I've been a little riled. Is there a team, perhaps, that might be short one person?
He says, there is a possibility. He starts thinking about it for a second. Let me see. Can you wait for a second?
Of course. Sorry, Guy, this was an impulse. Perhaps it was... We'll see how it plays out.
He's like, Guy, I will talk to you more about this worshipper of Baal who's a murderer and wanted in other cities later. Now the tournament is the most important thing. And then he walks out of the room. And then, we are going to move sideways.
Just a second. Hold it real quick. Hey, Ornan, that guy got my goat as well. And I know that I'm not, the best swordsman, but I'm okay, right? I mean, you've seen me, hit Manticore and stuff, right? I'm not terrible.
You hold your own very well in a fight.
You guys really need to better protect your goads.
No, you hold yourself very well. Very capable sword fighter.
I have other things I need to take care of. Ornan, think about it. I'm concerned that Bubbles and Jib Jab, they will confluence. They will conflube.
Conflube?
Right, and we'll
I'd hate to have the conflubing happen.
Right. When we're injured or
That's
in the middle of a
true.
fight for our lives, we have to be fresh, we have to be ready.
You guys would know that this is not fighting to the death. Although people do sometimes die in these tournaments, this is not fighting to the death.
But it's fighting to the hurt, and I kind of want to avoid that as well.
I think if there's a death that happens at the tournament, it's probably going to be Torgal from what we've seen.
Oh, you think it's going to be that serious?
Seems like there's some dissension.
I don't know. The way that I heard them talking at overheard them talking at the pie eating contest, the feast, the sweet, sweet feast.
Oh, wow, you said that fast.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. The way I heard them talking at the feast, the sweet, sweet feast, it seemed like they were, how do I put this? Showmen. And maybe it's not quite as, hey, we need to kill this guy, as, hey, we need to be taken more seriously.
I'm not sure that we can have any influence on that, but I'm sure we'll hear about it in the news.
If nothing else, it'll be interesting to watch as it unfolds.
True.
As you are having this conversation, we are going to jump over to a small little room deep in the bowels of the Tempestarium. The door opens and Swordmaster Gelmar, this old black man, walks in with his armor on, his sword back, his cape hanging down behind him as he walks into the room and looks at a down on his luck Tanner, a former guard of Redlum, an elf who got pushed off a balcony one time, and
that's her defining feature.
And
she did leave that bad boyfriend of hers.
Oh yeah,
and a thin young man with long dark hair and a bookish cast to him, and he says. He looks over at Kaladin Silvercrest and he says, "You still having second thoughts about fighting? Because I may have found a replacement for you."
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, but you're going to have to be in the stands with your mommy.
Oh! Gardenia, you have seen me in fights, and I can support, but not in the way that I need to support here.
You might want to try being a little more cryptic.
I mean, with books and things.
and you're a great cheerleader. We'll just say that. You're a great cheerleader.
Well, he's here, and he...
Honestly, I think I'd rather have your eyes on your mom to see if she's up to any nonsense.
Oh, you literally mean my mom. Sorry, for a moment I thought you were just being offensive.
Do we know his mom is here? I'm sorry, Paul. I know you were trying to do a scene and then end the episode, but we're getting way too into this.
So, the B-side is here. The B-side is competing in the tournament, and the B-side is aware that Nalira Silvercrest is here in Kladvina. Swordmaster Gamlar says, "He's right outside. I can have him join you now, but your battle's coming up very, very soon, so I need a decision now."
Well, I would bow out if I could. I'd hate for Nalira, my mother, to see me out there competing and know that we're here.
He claps his hands together and says, "All right," and he calls down the hall and says, "Ornan, you're in." I mean, Toonces, you're in.
No, it was Ornan. You were right, it was Ornan.
All right, that will be the B-side with Brenneth, Gardenia, Serena, and Toonces.
No, it was... All right.
And that's where we are going to stop for tonight.
I knew a guy named Ornan once.
That's right. I think we said that they talked as the barkeep.
Yeah, he's a bartender in Redland. Nicest guy.
Yes.
He gave me some really great advice at a really low point in my life.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, next time we get together, I think we're going to be at the Feast of Sweets tournament. All right, you guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for playing. This was very fun, moving around Kladvina and kind of stoking those fires with your different irons that are in all the different fires that are going on.
Got so many things checked off our list.
You did. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Hey, don't forget we have a Patreon. So if you want more information about us or if you want to chat with us, go check out our Discord. I just said two different things. Okay, if you want to chat with us.
What was the deal with information about us? Do I have any personal information out there that people can like?
If you want our social security numbers, then just go look up information from the Washington State DMV that got hacked a couple of years ago. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I'll tell you sometime about the guy who made a fake ID. The cops found a fake ID with my name and almost all the information was correct. It's crazy. Anyway, all right.
Damn.
We have a Patreon. So go check out Patreon and you can get bonus content.
Also,
like you can see our maps.
Two-factor authentication on everything using password securing program.
And then also don't forget we have your neighbors.
Phishing emails.
We have your neighbors.
This message brought to you by Wilhelm Associates.
Hey, Paul, what were you saying?
and we also, you can see our battle maps. You can also go and you can listen to Your Neighbor's Potatoes, which is our after show, which actually will be coming out if you're listening to this when it first comes out. Your Neighbor's Potatoes is coming out later today. Don't forget also, go chat with us on Discord. That's where you can get all the information about anything that we might be doing coming up. That's where we talk to you guys. You can ask us questions. We have some fans out there that give their 2 cents about every episode. It's great. I look forward to reading it every week. They find some of the funniest parts of the podcast that I forget about, and it's just great. So go join us there. Come be a part of the community. And until we get together next time, we hope you have a great time.